All right, hidden gem, Adrian. Who's our hidden gem this week?
The hidden gem this week is the Guardian.
Guardian.
Yep, the Guardian is he's not he eventually became like a superpower.
Okay.
But he started out as a doctor, and he made a suit for oil exploration.
Okay.
So this suit, it had force fields, it had blasters, things like that.
Yeah.
So the Guardian was the Canadian version of it was created as a Canadian version of Captain America.
Okay.
Basically.
Got
Kind of
it.
like Captain Britain, things like that.
Yeah.
So different, kind
So
of a
similar
spin-off.
powers, but his
Not similar
No,
powers at all.
okay.
No. The suit enabled him to fire blasters, force fields, fly at supersonic
Got it.
speeds.
Okay.
He had this one thing where he basically could visually it looked like teleportation.
Yeah.
But what actually happens is, so the Earth moves, right?
Yeah.
At like 700 to 1,000
Unless you
miles
believe it's flat.
unless you believe it's flat. But what he has the ability to do is stop himself in that movement. So
Yeah.
he instantly moves. Well, actually, he stays and the world keeps moving.
Okay.
So it looks like he just moves somewhere like teleportation,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's not actually teleporting.
He just stops, but he knows how to stop to move to where he needs to
Exactly.
be.
So like, some extreme thing, he can just pop out of the way.
Got it.
So,
What made you pick this character?
well, one, most of the stuff we talk about is, and this is my thing with comic book content. There's so much content out there. There's so many characters out there. We don't need to be pulling these obscure, characters that do pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
When we have other powerful out of the country, U.S. doesn't have the, the gold statue on superheroes. There's
Right.
other
True.
superheroes outside of the country.
Yep.
And he was the leader of Alpha Flight,
Yep.
which included a Hulk reproduction in Sasquatch.
Okay.
There was this little guy, Puck.
Yep, I remember Puck.
Don't want to call him a midget, but he
Yeah.
was tiny.
Okay.
He had these acrobatic abilities. There was Shaman. She could I think she was metaphysical kind of. So it was a pretty good team. It was like the Avengers.
Okay.
And the Guardian was the leader of that team.
And this is
Actually,
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight.
And Wolverine was in Alpha Flight.
Well, he helped create it because the guy who was the Guardian character, he saw the Fantastic Four and he wanted to make a team like that.
Okay.
And Wolverine, who he and his girlfriend found, during his Weapon X days, Wolverine helped them develop this team. And he was supposed to be the leader. Wolverine was supposed to be the leader, but he did whatever. He got out of the Canadian thing and went rogue, which is what he does.
Right.
And so
he was being Wolverine.
Right. So the Guardian became the leader of Alpha Flight.
Got it. So crazy powerful.
Yep.
Kind of the answer, Canada's answer to Captain America.
Right.
And started this group, like you said, was pretty much Avengers of Canada.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. But I was surprised because when we first discussed this segment, I was like, I'm probably not going to know any of these characters. And when you sent it over, I'm like, I didn't recognize the name. But then when I saw him, like, oh, shit. I thought it was Vindicator.
Right.
Which is, I guess, another name he goes by at
Right.
time, right?
Right.
And where I saw him was in the X-Men animated series. There was an episode, God, it was, I want to say Wolverine went back to, or he rejoined Alpha Flight or something like that.
He probably did a toe dip, and I mean, and he's done that.
Yeah.
He toe dips into these different teams to do whatever because understandably, Wolverine is Canadian.
Right.
So, he's going to be, bouncing around and these, going in and out. So who knows?
Yeah. So some reason he ended up maybe back in Canada. Somehow he crossed paths with them again. And this is where we all learned. And it was cool because I had no idea he was ever part. I never knew what Alpha Flight was.
Yeah.
I learned in this show. And then they added more to his origin where you're like, you learn that, he came from there first.
Right.
So he kind of had, I thought he kind of like rejoined them, which caused some friction between the X-Men. And again, I said, we're not an expert. I could be making the whole shit up. I don't know. I was young. Dude. I was probably like 10 years old watching this.
Right.
But I remember them from there, and I thought it was pretty cool, the suits or whatnot. And it's a very different looking suit, too.
Right. Right. big Canadian flag. Definitely prominent. Like the Captain America suit.
Yep.
It's definitely prominent. No misunderstanding about who he's representing. But it's kind of like an Iron Man kind of a suit.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not like a Iron Man kind of suit because it's like a skin tight mesh.
Yeah.
On top of him. It's not like, because Iron Man's stuff gear looks like battle gear.
Right. Yeah. It looks like armor.
Right.
Yeah.
The Guardian suit looks like every other superhero suit, like cloth, but it's not. It's actually a whole layers of basically electronics sitting on top of him.
Yeah. Well, here's what it says. Wikipedia says skin-tight technological battle suit composed of steel mesh, which serves as an exoskeleton, allows him to fly, fire energy blasts, and have a personal force field for defense. Yep. A pretty badass suit.
Yeah.
This would be a cool group to see on screen.
I think so. Yeah. I definitely think so.
It's like, one of the things that we have seen at times, is Marvel or even DC at times taking characters that were not crazy popular. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest. Iron Man was not the most popular character.
Right.
You were an Iron Man fan growing up.
Yep.
But I mean, more people were fans of the Wolverines, the Supermans, the Batmans, the Captain, the Spider-Man, right? Like if prior to the MCU, if you had a list of most popular comic characters, I don't think Iron Man would rank that high.
Really? I mean, I'm being biased because I've always liked him, but you're probably right.
And I think the movies and Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal really helped bring Iron Man's popularity up, massive amounts of levels.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that.
And I feel like this is a group, Alpha Flight, where they could do the same thing.
Yep.
It's something that most people are not going to recognize. Mm-hmm. You'll probably get a handful of people like me who remember them from the animated series. There's probably people that crossed them in some other comics, right?
Right.
But it's not Spider-Man level of popularity.
Right. But I mean, they're definitely worth looking into, and that could, those adventures, the Canadian adventures, or how Alpha Flight integrates with the X-Men.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a whole different set of popular comics. You know, stop trying to make USA. Pushing these characters. There's so much other content again that these movies could do, but they just choose to make this offshoot garbage.
Yep, no doubt. So yeah, I would love to see that. I think that would be cool, man. Alpha Flight. So do that. Hey, instead of the Thunderbolts, an Alpha Flight movie.
Oh, absolutely. I'd definitely go for that.
That'd be better.
Yeah.
Yep. But it probably won't happen because I don't think you can fit all those characters in James Gunn's garage. Even though he's not even part of Marvel anymore, but you never know. So there you have it. Week 1 of Hidden Gem, The Guardian. Now, where did you first find out about this character? Were you reading Alpha Flight comics, or how did you even find him?
Crossover from the X-Men.
Okay.
Their run-ins with with Wolverine specifically.
Got it.
Then there's other things too, but with these hidden gems, we're also not gonna limit it to the superheroes. There's also villains and other characters,
absolutely,
that are noteworthy as well.
Speaking of, is there a main villain nemesis for Guardian and or the Alpha Flight group?
I don't recall.
Okay.
But we can get into it later.
Yeah, like I said, we're not experts, but yeah, no one really sticks out. At least I don't remember from my little experience, or at least what we read over the past couple of days about this. But Guardian's pretty badass too. So should we include the Guardian in the King of the Comics tournament?
No, because the top 35 or so characters, there's so many power sets.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even really. I mean, are we gonna do like powers, or are we just gonna do abilities? Meaning, like, Batman, Iron Man.
Yeah.
They don't have powers, but they have tech, which gives them abilities.
Yeah, I think we got to include him. Yeah.
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 Okay, then we can throw the Guardian.
So Guardian's in there. He's our first pick. Guardian. All right. Next week you'll find out who he's facing in week 1. All right. Well, there you have it for Hidden Gem.